Chuck Todd did an interesting thing. He pulled out a tape of Lindsey Graham pretty much attacking Bill Clinton for his Monica Lewinsky and other things that they didn't approve of. They thought it was morally incorrect, and they impeached President Clinton for it. And he tries to wonder, or he wonders, why is it that Republicans don't apply the same principles to Donald Trump? In fact, he also wants to figure out, why is it that the evangelicals, the people who purportedly believe in the values that, let's say, Jesus Christ and others preach, how comes these guys are some of the staunchest supporters of Donald Trump? Well, he brought on Russell Moore, who was the editor-in-chief of Christianity Today, to kind of discuss this. And I think you'll find this a bit enlightening. Check this out. Let's take it on the other side.
Republicans once demanded morality in their politicians. Now, it appears not so much. Just listen to what Lindsey Graham said on this program as House Republicans weighed whether to impeach Democratic President Bill Clinton 25 years ago for obstruction of justice and perjury.
It's one thing to go and commit a crime. It's another thing to flaunt it in front of the American people and never admit to your wrongdoing. If the president would have the character to come forward and admit to the wrongdoing that I think is obviously there, then maybe I would treat him differently. What I'm looking for is a president that has a character trait to lead the American people, that will put his interests secondary to the American people. I'm looking for somebody who's repentant, somebody who understands they made not just a mistake, but violated the law. The law allows people to be treated differently if they'll come before the court and said, I'm sorry, I'm guilty. But somebody that plays the games to the bitter end, tries to have it both ways, dances on the head of the pin, in my opinion, has forfeited their right to lead this country.
Does character matter in the Republican Party? Russell Moore has been one of the highest profile conservative evangelical voices speaking out against Donald Trump. From 2013 until his resignation in 2021, he was the president of the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission of the Southern Baptist Convention. Now, he's the editor-in-chief of Christianity Today. Dr. Moore, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thanks for having me, Chuck.
I want to repeat the last sentence there from Senator Graham. Again, 25 years ago, this was Lindsey Graham. Somebody that plays the games to the bitter end, tries to have it both ways, dances on the head of a pin, in my opinion, has forfeited their right to lead this country. I want to get your reaction to that. Where are we today?
Well, it was right in 1998, and it's right now. And that's part of what's so confusing to many of us who were taught in the 1990s that character matters and are now told by often the very same people that it doesn't. I mean, evangelical Christianity emphasizes that the internal affects the external. And the fact that a person's character in private has everything to do with his or her character in public. That has always been the case, and that's always been the issue here, is does character matter or does it not?
You know, even former Vice President Pence was kind of dismissive of the defamation verdict.
I'm not sure what's going on in Vice President Pence's mind at this point. I know it was a shocking moment for me, even after everything that we've seen. And what's primarily shocking is the fact that here we are in a week where a former president of the United States is found liable for sexual abuse and sexual assault and defamation of a woman who survived such abuse and assault. And the country just yawns for the most part. That tells me that something has really, really badly gone awry in this country. And you add to it the demeanor and the content of President Trump's deposition to simply shrug off and defend the Access Hollywood comments. In 2015, I said that President Trump had or Donald Trump at the time, had the attitude toward women of a Bronze Age warlord. In that deposition, he said, yeah, as a matter of fact, predated it back to millions of years ago and said, unfortunately or fortunately, that's the way that it is. Well, think about the teenage girl in a church somewhere who's being abused by her youth pastor, wondering whether to come forward. And she hears not only that, but when the victim is ridiculed by a presidential candidate in front of a crowd, the response is laughter. That has devastating implications.
8 years ago, when Donald Trump first ran, there was a divide inside the evangelical community, and there was a lot of hand-wringing, and many came down on the side of, well, if the choice is between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump will appoint the judges that I like. You seem to indicate after Donald Trump announced his reelection plans after the November 2022 midterms that you didn't sense a divide anymore in the evangelical community, that politically they're all in.
Well, I think that's probably true with the politically activated, politically energized base. I don't think that's true of everyone. Almost every congregation that I know is either divided or tense about these sorts of political controversies coming out of the Trump years. Almost every family that I know has people who don't speak to each other anymore about this personality and this figure. And I think there are a lot of people, including conservative evangelicals like me, who are looking at this and saying, are we really going to do this again? Haven't we seen this already? Do we really want to repeat it? And I suppose that will be the question for the rest of the year.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join. So yeah, Russell asked the important question: do we want to live through this again? Meaning the MAGA folks, do they really want to live through this again? And specifically, do they want to keep that dissension that Donald Trump has created, not just among the general public, but within the church, within families, etc.? Do we really want to live through that again? We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.